It's bad luck to see me in my dress. It's bad luck to see me at all. Don't you know? I can only really mitigate so much in a state like this. I don't want you to suffer any more misfortune than you currently are. Well, you are marrying me, aren't you? I know you know, and you know I know, so let's skip it with all the fuss already. You don't have to pretend in front of me. Pretend to be happy. Pretend to like me. Pretend anything at all. It's not like anybody else ever has. Marya. I like Marya. Marya Dmitrievna, I've found to be something of a mouthful. Besides, we are going to be married. It'll probably be for the best if we can at least look like we're friendly with each other. Not that much attention is really going to be paid to us. Even if we weren't out from under the lens of those blessed by the light of the four within those divided nations on our little island across the way. You mean, you really haven't heard? I mean, many of the servants have said that nobody on this island would dare ask for my hand, but I didn't think they meant it in such a matter-of-fact way that nobody on this island would dare ask for my hand. How cruel. I suppose you'll be the first person I've ever gotten to tell. Myself, I mean. What a luxury. I'm cursed. Horribly, dreadfully cursed. I'll die by the age of 21 is what the doctors have been saying, and the niches of magic users I've been able to access say that's a lucky insinuation. It's kind of a long story, but it's a hereditary curse. As if that makes it any better, that the inherent evil doesn't simply rest within my soul, but it is a tarnish on my whole family's name. I believe that's why you're the only one who has offered your hand in marriage to me. I mean, I've read of horrendous people in books who'd take advantage of people like me in situations like this. I'm sure you'd stand to benefit a lot in exchange for a measly 3 years of marriage, but the downsides and the risks are still too great for anybody to take up such an offer in good faith. I shouldn't even still possess my title. The only reason I haven't been banished or exiled or imprisoned or enslaved like those who bore the curse before I is that I am the only heir, for the very same reason I bear the curse to begin with. My father didn't want to risk it. If there's only one curse bearer for every generation, the chances of it, well, curses are devilish things, don't you know? Some generations get it kinder than I have it. Some get it worse. Each one of my father's 7 siblings got touched by small glimpses of the curse, except for him. And each died 3 years after the other from the complications of it. I only know as much from the diary of the last sister. I get the sense he doesn't like to talk about it, even if it wasn't me who was asking. In a way, this is almost a small act of mercy he's granted me. The only mercy I've ever been given. I'm sure if there was another, if I wasn't simply banished or exiled or whatever sort of thing is done when royals wish to see one of their own disappear without incidents, that I would be that much more uncared for and unloved than I am now. In many ways, I'm lucky. In others, even blessed. Even if that blessing is as close to a rose as the thorns happen to be. There's a kindness in the unkind, one that's less maligned. Not that I naturally assume an air of unkindness about you, nothing of the sort. I just know better. Know better than to think otherwise until proven. Understanding the sorrow it brings me to have to ask if you can forgive me, but the curse isn't the only thing that has scarred me. At least that's how it manifests. The gloves and mask and all of this aren't just for show, after all. I already look unsightly enough as is with them on. With them off, it's practically a nightmare with the way the flesh bends and curls and drips. The rivets within the flesh course with blood, and yet they're always so dry. It's a distasteful sort of texture, and I'm sorry to discuss it here. You may be my spouse in just an hour or so, but this is a burden I've carried all my life. It would be wrong of me to force you to carry it in kind, all because you asked. You don't know what you're getting into. We are to fill each other's glasses with the unending sweetness and dryness of cherry wine, not to sip from the other's cup to wash away our own bitterness. I don't even know why I chattered so much about my own follies. If I spoke this much to the king, I'm sure my tongue would have been sliced out by now. I suppose you're just the first one who's ever listened, I suppose. I mean, it's strange. New servants used to not even breathe in front of me for fear that they could contract the very same curse that rots in my veins, and yet here you are, as new can be, and you're talking to me. You'd obviously be expected to share in the same intimacy that the servants would share almost twofold, and yet there's something about you that allows me to think that you'd be eager to take part in it. Not in the labors or tribulations or trifles that come from it, but the contact all the same. I can't remember the last time I felt held by anyone, and yet here you are, to have and to hold for the rest of my life, no matter how long and no matter how brief. Please return to your station. How much longer can we really keep them waiting?